Good. Call meeting to order Monday, April 4th. Roll call, please.
Mayor Anderson.
Here.
Troy Boone.
Here.
Troy Dolan.
Here.
Will Wilkie.
Here.
Art Schott.
Here.
Teresa Swigan. Here. Mike Tiedemann.
Here. Agenda was sent out. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
Second.
One second. Motion by Swagan, seconded to adopt the agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Approved meeting minutes for March 21st were sent out. Is there a motion to approve the March 21st, 2022 minutes?
Motion to approve March 21st, 2022 minutes.
Second. Motion by Tiedemann, seconded to approve the March 21, 2022 minutes. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Visitors be heard. Ms. Joanne Paulson.
You're up. Already? I just got some quotes from the bounce arounds for the park adventure. It's right around $3,900, kind of the typical what we've had in the past. The only thing that changes this year is they're not staffing, so I'll have to round up some church group or something to get that going. She said she would help me out. She had a Boy Scout group near T that likes to do it, so I might have a staff set up. And I said, are they all over 16? And she said, yeah, they're older. So, and there would be adults with them. And then I haven't contacted the porta potty people yet, but we would have 2 porta potties. Lonnie's going to be doing the street dance again, block off the alley. We've got the stage reserved, and he's got a band all lined up. So kind of like last year. A couple new things at the park, but it's not physical or anything. I got Mr. Twister coming, the balloon guy. He's gonna come, and then we're looking at a dunk tank. So we're just kind of feeling some things out, but I think in the past, $3,500 is what you guys gave towards the old-fashioned weekend. I'm requesting the same. If
Did we get the porta potties last?
and you gave porta potties, yes. So
What was the total amount that we've done?
Look real quick. It's part of the subsidy request for the chamber.
Okay.
I'm thinking it was
That's what I
4,000.
thought. It's more than 3,500.
Yeah.
And that's already been approved. Okay.
That's in the budget for this
Okay.
year.
So if you want copies of this, I can give it to you, or leave it with Elaine too.
What day are you looking at?
The July 30th, and then we're doing one new one. They're gonna change it out and do one new one. We've always done 4, some type of inflatable for the kids, free. Oh, the other thing I wanted to ask about was, open swimming pool that day, free for kids to come in. The one year we held back and only Beresford families, and I don't know what your policy is this year, but I do know there's a couple of class reunions that are coming, possibly coming for that weekend, and so I don't know if they're bringing their kids or what, but I'm sure they'd want to maybe use the pool too, be able to say, this is where I grew up, kind of thing.
I think what we did, the COVID is why we did it that one year.
Yeah.
The COVID, because we didn't want to have.
Right,
That's
but
all.
I didn't know if anything had changed since then.
Didn't
Allowing
we do
people
open
from
swimming last year for them?
out of
Yeah,
town.
I thought we did full open swimming last year for
Yeah,
everybody.
that Saturday.
Mhm.
Okay. It's all a blur every year.
Did you talk to Greg about what's going on with the pool?
No, I haven't. I haven't talked to Greg at all yet. I just figured I would find out. I'm sure he goes, whatever you guys agree to, so he's pretty good.
Do we need a motion on the money or? It's already in the budget, so.
When does Lonnie have to come and ask?
Well,
We're gonna predict that.
Unless you're gonna close the street, you wouldn't have to.
Well, the alley they closed last year, though, you'd have to ask for that, right?
When should he come?
Sooner the better.
so he needs to come down here,
I think we,
or,
I think you should make a formal request at least to close the street, what portion of the street, because I know they had problems last time with closing the cross portion of the sidewalk and making people walk out onto the road rather than walking across the sidewalk going in, so.
and,
Yeah, it probably didn't hurt anything, but I think just so the council knows exactly
Okay.
what he wants to close. Maybe he doesn't want to close the, alleyway this year. I know it worked out better for us, for putting the stuff up and taking it all back down.
he did, I visited with him at, 8 o'clock Saturday morning, and, he said that he would like to do it in the back like he'd done last time. You know, the alley is where the stage goes, and then everything is blocked off. And then there wasn't any real sidewalk blockage because they walked up to Lonnie's building and went in. So,
The line formed on the sidewalk. Yeah, cause there was either
We
one.
didn't put barricades blocking the
Right.
sidewalk or anything, though, so that's
No.
good.
no, we did it what you asked, so,
But he needs to come with a plan, because I think didn't we run into a time crunch last year,
that's what I was getting at, when maybe you should come down and.
I think that was 2 years ago,
2 years ago?
and that had to deal with the liquor aspect of it, because they could only drink, that's when they had it in the street, they could only drink beer on the street and liquor in his parking lot, and that's where the issue was.
He needs to come with his plan.
okay, I'll tell him. That's not a big deal. He's pretty good about that. So, other than that, not a whole lot has changed. We'll do the car cruise, the car, show down at Gerald's, and old fashioned weekend in the park, and go from there. Wish I could have some more help. Sure would be nice. As long as he's here, I'll need 2 cops
Okay.
for that event. If you wanna put in a request to whomever, that would be great.
What's the time frame?
Didn't we do 8 to midnight, 12:30? Or 1? I don't remember exactly, but
What time's the band done,
starts at 8,
and done at?
midnight.
We for sure should plan from 8 to 1, I think.
Yeah, that's fine if they don't hang around till 1, we'll talk.
Good.
Yep. And, yeah, it was the same as before, nobody under 21, so they were all carded.
I guess this is probably a Lonnie question, but does he intend to be open after that, or does he intend to close like he does in years? Because that would probably dictate whether it's midnight or 1.
I'll just tell him all your questions and he can come down and chat with you. I'll let him know.
I'd say just get with Jerry, and if you could reach out maybe to one of them, get everyone on the same page.
Okay? Yeah. So, that's all I got.
Thank you. No committee reports, department head reports, chief, sure.
Basically, me and Jerry were talking the other day, and I thought this for the longest time, there's kind of some confusion as it comes to the speed limit sign by the pool. Because the sign says when children are present, you can't really tell if children are present until you are in the 15-mile-an-hour speed limit zone. So, I guess my point is you should always feel like children are present, but it's kind of a crapshoot whether they think they're breaking the law or not. So, kind of talked on just making that a 15-mile-an-hour speed limit year-round. in that area and just taking that sign down that says when children are present. I think the yellow light should still be there for when pool hours are operating. That way we can have that amber just to notify people it's 15. Probably gonna take some time for people to figure it out. We're gonna have to post it on social media and stuff like that and kind of do some educational patrol down there, but,
Wouldn't it only be in effect if the whole thing is flashing?
no.
Is that flasher is on a timer?
No,
No,
they
couldn't
couldn't turn it
turn
on.
Or is it not?
I think it's literally on the light switch in the pool.
It's gonna be a speed trap for 10 months out of the year. Why can't it just be 15 when the light is flashing?
Well, the other side of the park is 15 too, and that's really not a speed trap.
That's the road through the park.
And you can't, I mean, that's 15 year round, that's not when children are present, so. I think it's like essentially one city block. I mean, because the signage is after Gravely's, and I believe the signage going east is,
Right before the pool.
right before the pool, so you literally got a city block roughly, go down to 15 miles an hour. I mean, it's a crapshoot whether you think kids are gonna be at the park or not, so, I mean, you can't see until you're well into that 15 mile per hour zone if there's children present. And this is not for just pool, this is for children playing at the park year round, because if there's kids in the park, you can't go 25, according to the signage. So that's a speed trap right there.
Well, when children are present, it's bad, because I mean, the children are on the street, on the sidewalk, on the boulevard, in the parking lot, in the park,
Everywhere.
in the yard, at Butch's house.
So I think taking that sign out of there takes the guessing out of it, and we just make it a 15 mile per hour speed limit through there, and people just have to get used to it.
It's gonna be 15 all the time. Can the flasher just stay on all the time?
Yeah, I'm sure someone will complain about that.
You don't draw attention to the sign, put a flasher on it. One of them spinny things that reflects.
I don't care. Don't bother me none.
Just ask.
Or at least have a flasher for the first month or so to get attention and.
Cause it's supposed to be, does our city ordinance say where it's supposed to be 15 around parks? Or how did we come up with 15 there? Just cause when children
I
are.
think the ordinance says where it's, speed limit's 25 unless posted otherwise. On city streets in the height.
But there's nothing that says to or around the park.
Well, the council makes the determination as to where other limits would be on a case-by-case basis. And then that's to be posted, so.
Right.
Like Third Street's 15 through here.
Right.
Questions, comments, concerns?
I just don't think we're giving people enough credit. They know to slow down when the summer months, when the park and the pool are busy. I mean, what about around every street, around every school building, around the golf course when children are playing golf and they have to cross the street over there on Ash or by Ash? Where do you draw the line?
Well, there's a school zone for that.
But there's no posted speed change, is there?
Yeah.
Where?
Well, so you're in a school zone.
It doesn't say slow down to 15. Just says you're in a
It
school
might
zone.
not, but,
But it's warning you that children are present.
ignorance of the law is not an excuse.
What's the speed limit on 8th Street? Any idea?
I would say it's 15, it's not posted. If it's not posted
Not posted.
on 8th, between, like,
Is it posted by Mike McKill's?
it could be, I'd have to check.
What about the street that goes, what is that, 8th Street, that's north and south, the little narrow one right there?
That's what we're talking
That's what we're talking about? Okay.
I haven't checked that one, so I don't know. I don't know why that wouldn't be 15, because it's a very narrow street. And
Yeah.
hardly two cars can get, if they're coming at each other, so.
I ran down there today. I was going like 20.
So streets do have signs or you don't?
I can't confirm the 8th Street, I didn't look at 8th Street, but.
How much the trouble is it to buy signs, Jeff? I prefer to have signs. Cause I don't wanna have any phone calls in the middle of the night, I got a ticket, cause there's no signs on the street.
Well, there's no signs, it's 25. So.
Yeah, if it's not posted, it's 25,
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if we're gonna make it 15, which is fine with me, but as long as it's posted.
Yeah, so there's already a sign up there that says 15 miles an hour, but then underneath of it, there's a secondary sign that says, when children are.
Oh, yeah, I'm talking about the other streets they're talking about.
8th Street.
8th Street,
Oh, yeah, there's gotta be a sign there, but I don't.
is it 15 or 25?
Oh, it's there for the moment.
If there's no sign, it's 25, and
Okay.
that should be 15 also, so.
Well, that's what I'm saying, if we're gonna make a street 15, we should at least have a sign there.
Mhm.
I don't mind it, there's a lot of signs there. Yeah, I don't know, I used to go that way to work for 20-something years, let me tell you something. Some of those cars are 40 miles an hour plus.
I agree.
Okay, what's the common sense rule? If it's 2 o'clock in the morning, someone's going like 17, you're gonna stop and give them a ticket? That's, I mean, we wanna use a little common sense. I mean,
Yeah, well, you have to, situation dictates.
right, I'm just saying, I don't wanna.
Yeah, we're not stopping people in town if we're going 2 over.
Right. All right. And then when there are kids, then I don't care what you do. All right, appreciate that, thank you. So we're supposed to vote on this?
I get what you're trying to do. I mean, I do, but dropping it down for a block, unlike the street that everyone drives on. I mean, I get it, don't think I don't. I think it's gonna be a nightmare.
Well,
Pretty difficult right now, isn't it, when you're trying to figure out if a child is there? How would you
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's, how do you enforce speed limits if you don't know children's there? I mean, we get
Right.
several complaints on that road.
There's a 15-mile-per-hour sign at the corner of 8th and Main. Yep.
8th and Main.
Going south.
Okay.
Those are okay.
So,
Do you get complaints throughout the year or just when the pool's open?
Every day.
yes, we get a lot of complaints on that road. Matter of fact, I just wrote a ticket on here a couple weeks ago for a kid probably doing 65 miles an hour down there. So,
And
there was kids, there were school kids walking down the street.
another 15-mile-per-hour sign
So-
by McGill, right there. There's another sign by McGill's on the west side of the road.
So like,
I get that, that's a real narrow stretch. That's an alley more than anything.
yeah, 2 cars are hard to fit down that, so.
I mean,
I mean, if you're worried about the length of it, let's just do it all the way to Main then.
That's what
Or no,
I'm,
excuse me, do it all the way to West 13th.
I'd say make it 3 blocks, 11th to whatever, 9th.
There is no 9.
Well, there's 10.
There's no 9.
What's the corner where Justin's at? What's that one?
8.
8.
9th would be going into the park.
The park, if you will, like going into the
Right.
pool house.
So 8th to 11th.
that's what I was gonna say, having people
Instead of 1 block.
scratch their bumper for a block.
Right.
We would have to, I mean, that would involve Jeff, we'd have to uproot which, we'd have to put a sign in, probably the corner of Gravel's there, and go down to 11th Street by Carlson.
Because the ones that I've seen have been the close calls are in front of, I don't know who lives there, well, be on the south side, right before you get to the pool, if you're headed
Corner?
west, like by Sardis lived there, right?
That's Sardis and then
Yeah.
Warner.
I've seen closer calls right in there with kids.
It's coming out of the parking lot there.
Parking lot with the bikes.
I mean, that's what I would say, instead of making it a short one, I would make it a couple of block or 2 longer, if you're gonna do it.
That's fine.
It's over to the side.
What's that?
It's 15 from, the dog parks.
Where at?
Yeah, we're on that part. All the way over to
So the council vote on this, Jerry?
Well, we're just talking, maybe we just do it when the flashing light is on all the way up to you. The hardest thing is just the children are present, because it's impossible for these guys to know there's surrounding schools walking in front
If
of
we're
them.
gonna change the speeds, it'd be nice to come back on the next meeting with a map and highlight where the zones are gonna be. So we approve that. Maybe bring a couple copies that aren't highlighted yet, in case we wanna change it a little bit.
Sure.
Maybe
So you're talking.
working with our already 15, cause 15's all the way to Maple on 8th.
Well,
It's, well, I'm sorry.
It's 15 all the way to Maple on 8th, and all the way down to behind the backstop.
Yep.
And then all the way over to the stop sign again, right?
Isn't that 13?
And through the park.
Yeah, so you want to go all the way to 13?
I'm guessing.
Well, they were saying 11.
I'm just throwing this out, but wouldn't this be like better to have the committee meet with him and come up with what they think
It's not bad, idea.
for the speed limits and then bring it up?
Who's on that?
I'll know.
Will this be public safety?
That's the one I can't be on.
Will, Teresa, and Art. There you go.
We need to meet about other things anyways, so. Am I on all committees?
You're on every
So.
I guess you're gonna come to that.
I'll get my crayons out and draw a picture for you guys.
And then posted for.
Well, I think the best way to do it is to post it on, I mean, we'll post it on our Facebook page, the city will post it on their Facebook page, maybe, I don't know, is there a channel 8 anymore? Does that
Yes.
exist? Or maybe, I mean, like I was telling Jerry, and I don't know who else I was talking to, you know, the first couple of months is gonna have to be educational.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna stop people and you're gonna be like, hey, did you know it's 15 miles an hour? Well, I didn't know, you know, so, I mean, we're not gonna go kicking down doors, writing tickets.
Like, if it gets approved, I think messaging with the school in particular, so that all the kids know, because I don't
They can't even drive 15 in the school zone, I don't know what that's gonna do.
At least we try. Right.
Is that how we did with that stop sign up last year?
Basically, Ms. Myers came to the council and I put my input on it, and that was decided on that night that we would do that, so.
And you put it on the
we-
Facebook page
Yeah, we
and
put it on
share it.
Facebook and
Lots of people share it.
we've had no issues there.
Okay,
We've
good.
had no crashes there.
Put a flag on it.
Yeah, I think there's, I don't know if there still is, but there was a flag on it for several months, so.
I actually think there was a crash in Spinners.
No, that was way before that rollover.
Is that one block?
That's a
That
block,
one, that was this way.
Okay, it was like over
That
a
was
block
like,
away.
yeah,
2 blocks away.
That's true.
and that was prior to the stop sign.
That was the other bad one.
When are you thinking of meeting?
So you all meet, come up with a recommendation.
Yeah,
We'll figure out.
Yep.
Everyone happy?
About that topic, yeah.
Next item, finance officer, roof sanitation fuel surcharge.
So the fuel surcharge chart on the current solid waste contract does not reflect the current diesel prices. And so in red is the addition that I have made to the surcharge chart. It just needs your approval.
Shall make a motion and then roof sanitation contract for fuel surcharge reduction, as Lane Johnson stated with the sheets.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Schott, seconded by Tiedemann to amend the ruse sanitation contract, adding additional fuel surcharge per the document. Any further discussion? Here it is.
I have a question for you. The percentage of what? What do we have?
Over the top of so the monthly, which is $4,850 a month, and then you would take 12% of that. If the fuel was between $4.51 to $4.75.
We were talking before the meeting about, we haven't raised trash rates for how long?
It's always been 12 with you, right? Oh,
2009, I think.
yeah,
8.
yeah. I think 2008.
So even like 50 cents a customer would generate an extra $400 a month. Cover this.
When we did the contract, I think the diesel fuel was in that 226 to 250 range. So it was zero for the first 3 times that prices went up, they didn't get nothing else. But normally it stays within a dollar to $1.50 one way or the other. And this year, of course, who knew? So they're taking a pretty good hit right now. So,
But it might be something we want to consider is, I don't think you mentioned a buck or 50 cents.
And we didn't think the bid was way lower than the other garbage guy.
it's all about the price of the fuel, though. I'm sure if we don't do something about it, we have to do it.
Yeah, with this, we don't have to raise our rates. Right?
No, that would be totally separate of this, but.
I guess monthly when we do the financials, just kind of watch to make sure we're not losing, and then at that point, if we are, then we need to adjust.
But Ruse did come in at a great bid compared to Lauren, so we can look at it.
It's not just about this year, it's about softening the blow or lesser of an increase at a later time. Instead of taking a $2 increase a year from now, maybe we do a little bit at a time.
Okay. So even when Lauren Fisher had the contract, the rates had skyrocketed a little bit in 2013, and the rates didn't increase. We can look at it.
That seems more temporary than this seems more permanent.
Yeah. Let's hope we don't make it to the $7 mark.
I hope not.
I know, but I need it big.
I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'd rather be wrong on this chart.
Stick for the Fed increase, we better not get $7 gas.
Right. No further discussion? All in favor of the amendment? Jack?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Old business liquor store building inventory auction set for May 4th online only. There's a handout.
I put some stuff in front of you guys, so you can just take a look at that, but we need to declare the building surplus now, which would include the building only. We'll start with in the parking lot. So it's be lot 16, east 5 feet of lot 17, block 14, the west 20 feet, lot 17, all lot 18, block 14, original Beresford City. So that will take care of all of our parking lot and the building and extra land that the building sits on. So we need to declare that surplus, and we ourselves will advertise this in the legal section of the paper that we're having the auction, and we're gonna let Gerard take care of all the other sources of advertising. So they've got it pretty well figured out who they're gonna be advertising through. So, but first, our first deal is just to get this building declared surplus so we can get our advertisement in the paper ahead of the actual auction date.
Do we set a minimum or a reserve on the auction?
We did not, unless you guys would want to.
Didn't you say that if you do a minimum, then they charge an additional fee?
And there's some other things that said it's when people know it's gonna sell, they'll be there that day to make sure that if they're gonna get it, they're gonna get it. So I think our whole thing is we wanted to get rid of it. There's been a lot of interest. I've talked to at least 5 different parties that are interested in it.
I don't think there's gonna be any issue, so.
So they'll be bidding on the parking lot separate from the building?
No, everything
It
goes.
all goes at
It all
once.
goes at once. We wanna do that whole thing. That's how I'll advertise in the paper. It's all legal.
Now, is this,
East 5 feet, yeah, no, that's all, 20 feet, so it's all, that's all.
is this building contents?
Just this,
Or how did we decide to do that?
just the building and the land is all we're looking at right now. Then you'll also make a motion after that to take all of the inventory that we have on the inventory list.
Right?
And you'll just declare that surplus, and we're gonna keep that on file at City Hall, rather than try to list it all in the minutes.
So Doden makes a motion to declare the property of the former municipal liquor store as surplus. And the tax description for such property is lot 16 in the east 5 feet of lot 17 of block 14 of original Beresford City. And also the west 20 foot of lot 17 and all of lot 18 of block 14 of original Beresford City.
That's it.
Motion by Doden and seconded to declare surplus the liquor store building and property as described on the tax documents. Any further discussion?
Only thing I would add is probably at auction, so we know we're selling it at auction, not or just I think that's, just we'll put that in the
One motion to amend my motion.
Just add.
We'll,
okay with you in the seconder before we vote?
I'm okay with adding it to be declared surplus and sold at auction on May 4th.
What about you, Art?
Stand second.
You're okay with that?
Well,
Change my motion?
That's right. I trust you on that.
So motion, declare the building and property surplus and sold at auction May 4th. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved?
Does it need to be online auction? I just said auction.
just auction.
Number on the same bucket.
So now you need a motion on all the content.
All the contents.
And that's also be sold as an auction on the
And did the other departments get all their stuff?
May 4th, is it?
There wasn't much.
Okay.
Everything's pretty well out of there.
So this document is considered 03.2022. Is that what it? So Doden makes a motion to declare content inventory as described on 2 pages of the document titled Beresford Municipal Liquor Store Inventory for Auction 03.2022 as surplus and to be sold at May 4th auction.
Motion by Dillon and seconded to surplus inventory listed on document inventory for auction 03.2022 to be sold at public auction May 4th. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Approved. Resolution 2022-06. Amending resolution 2016-08 to establish electric rates for the city of Beresford.
So we have discussed in the past how far back the consumption for electric and water is compared to billing. And so Kathy and I have been brainstorming, and we have also visited with Utilismart, which is our meter reading company, and with our meter reader Keith Kopinski for the water meters, and GWorks, which is our utility billing software. And we have come up with a plan and right now is the most ideal time because the bills are usually smaller the next 2 months because there's not air conditioning and heating. So the May bill, which we are proposing to have consumption from March 1st to April 9th, so it makes it like a 40-day consumption. And then the June billing would be April 10th to May 20th, and that would be again 41 days, I can't remember. And then the July bill would kick off the new schedule, and it would be from May 20th to June 20th, and so then it would be mailed out July 1st. So we wouldn't be as far behind.
Be 10 days in arrears instead of 30.
Yep. I think we got it accomplished. We've talked to all the companies, they're all on board, we have reminders set up for them.
I like that idea, it keeps us most current.
Mhm.
It's gonna give us an influx of cash flow for the next couple of months too.
And, yep, we'd just be able to do it in 2 months, 2 billing cycles.
So hopefully people understand that, yes, their bills can maybe be slightly higher each 2 months, but if they ever discontinue service, they'll have a smaller bill at the end of their service than what they would have under the current.
And right now it's ideal because we're not using as much electricity and water.
For a motion? So this will just be electric though, not water?
And water.
Oh, and water?
Yep, Keith is on board with it too and making the switch. He was
Yeah,
actually more
those rates
excited
are
about
set
it.
by a resolution like this.
Less confused if we have 2 different dates.
Okay.
What was that?
The water rates aren't set with the resolution like the electric
No.
rates are, so that's why the change only deals with the water, or the electric.
The actual rates remaining the same.
Because the
Yeah,
electric rate ordinance says you set rates by resolution, and the resolution didn't read correctly for them to do what they want to do, so.
There's gonna be calls and there's gonna be people upset that their bill's a little higher, we just need to have a standard.
I highly doubt it.
You don't think people will know?
They don't really look at it that close.
I do.
Yeah, I was that too.
But would you really be like,
I
don't you
always
look at the
compare it to
dollar
last
amount?
year and see
Yeah.
what you guys did.
Yeah.
Okay, why is it higher than last year?
And we will put a little blurb on the bottom. I don't know how much, there's not a lot of room on the bottom of the bill, but I'll put something on there. If we don't have it all, then I do have a little blurb that I can put in there too.
Shall I make a motion, resolution 2022-06, a resolution amending resolution 2016-08, establish electric rates for the city of Beresford as main station.
Second.
Motion by Schott and seconded to consider resolution 2022-06, a resolution amending resolution 2016-08, establishing electric rates for the city of Beresford. Any further discussion?
Is this gonna be a big shot to you guys out there?
And he's aware of it.
He is aware of it, okay, good.
Yeah.
It's money over one way.
Something to really concern.
No further discussion, all fair say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Petition for annexation of lot 1 of Dolan Addition.
Tri-State Ready Mix has purchased some ground out from the Bill Dolan farm off of Old 77, just to the south of Hybrid Turkey down there. And I included a map there so you guys can see which one it is. They have petitioned to bring that into the city limits. So I do have the petition signed here, and if you want to move forward with bringing them in, it'll come in as ag land, just like it is now. They'll have to, it has to have that probably rezoned to either light industrial or heavy industrial based on what they're gonna do out there in the future. Indications are that they hope to start construction sometime, this year on the new cement plant and facilities out there, so. They have asked to come into the city limits, so that's a good thing, so we'll provide water, sewer, and everything else.
And do we know, just probably a little ahead of the game, are they gonna access that off Old 77?
Right now it is, because that other road is just strictly for access to the substation.
Okay.
Now, they may come in and say, hey, we want to participate in for the hard surface road all the way in, and that'd be something that we'd look at that time.
Okay.
We'd need a motion to adopt the resolution if you want to move forward with approving their annexation.
Shall I make a motion, resolution 2022-07, resolution of annexation as Jerry Simon stated.
Motion by Schott and seconded to consider resolution 2022-07, a resolution of annexation. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Review bids for multi-community chip seal project. Yeah, Jeff.
I think surprisingly, the rates went up considerably based on a lot of what we're talking about is oil products. So the Bros Engineering put together some spreadsheets, and they have 4 bids. All came in quite a bit higher than what their original engineer's estimate was. So Now, Jeff and I can talk a little bit about what we can do. We have $100,000 budgeted, and that includes both the engineering and the work itself. We agree, we think we need to stay within our budget. Unless you guys would want to consider doing more, we don't have anything else budgeted at this time to do that, though. So Jeff has talked to those people, and they've agreed that we would only do as much as what we can afford in our budget, so. But what they would like to see us do is make a motion to proceed, and I think we would proceed with option number 2, which is reduce the volume of work to better align with the established total budget.
Shall I make a motion to review the bids which we did for 2022 multi-community chip seal project, awarded to the lowest responsible bidder, as Jerry Simon stated, which was number 2, limited to $100,000 total for the chip seal and engineering.
Yep.
As that's what we have set aside for that.
Second.
Motion by Shaw, seconded to reviewing bids or approve.
Yeah, I think Aztec Corp was the low bidder there. They did ours last year, right? Yeah,
Same group as last.
Same group as last year.
Are we accepting the bid?
Yeah, we just need to let them know that, so they know.
Accepting the bid of the low bidder, and option 2 is maintaining a budget of $100,000.
That will do it.
Any further discussion?
Jeff did say this does cover all the roads that he wanted done, that need to be done, so we're covered there.
No further discussion, all fair side?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Full-time police officer hire.
I just wanna, move forward with the hire of Colton Laubach. He is an uncertified officer. It's the only application we've received since, the opening of the police officer position, so. He would have to go to the police academy. There's a lot of working years behind it, but I think he's gonna be the one that's gonna hopefully stick around town, so. Didn't get a bad, did a good background on him, and nobody had anything bad to say about him, so. He currently works at the state penitentiary, or excuse me, Minnehaha County Jail in Sioux Falls, so.
Is he from around here?
Yeah.
Okay.
What kind of money are we talking about?
Step 1 of the 2022 pay scale is $20.26 an hour.
Shall I make a motion to hire a full-time police officer, as the police chief stated, step 1?
Yep.
Pay $20.26 per hour starting,
Yes.
plus he has to go for training and be certified.
Second.
Motion by Schott and seconded to authorize the hiring of Colton Laubach at the rate of $20.26 per hour. Any further discussion?
When's he gonna start, Mike, if he accepts the job?
He can start on the 6th.
The only application you got?
What's that?
He was the only one you got?
Yeah.
Just what everyone else advertising to.
Yeah, we got, surrounding us, everyone's hiring. Lincoln County's got 5, Vermillion's got 8, Elk Point, Union County, Lennox PD.
Every state agency.
You can go right back to it.
Every state agency has to go, yeah.
I think we have 17 open.
The reason he can start so quick, normally we would ask, for the 2 weeks, but he is currently in training at the sheriff's office there. And his contract date is 8. So they basically said it doesn't make sense to train you any further if you're gonna take a separate job. So he will put his resignation in tomorrow as long as everything's approved here, and then it's starting the 6th.
No further discussion, all fair side?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Is there a motion to approve the seasonal hire for the Bridges Clubhouse?
Doug makes a motion to approve the hiring of Caitlin Anderson for outside services at the Bridges Clubhouse at a starting wage of $9.95 per hour.
Second.
Motion by Doug and seconded to approve the seasonal hire for the Bridges Clubhouse. Is Discussion.
Because this is
Yeah,
first
wouldn't
year of part-time city employment.
I was gonna say, we,
At the golf course.
But if it's his third year with the city, wouldn't we put him on the third step? Why wouldn't we?
He's a cool previous.
Right.
yeah, but,
It's up to you guys.
what's that?
It's up to you guys.
I would think we would. It's a part-time seasonal hire, pool, golf
Is it his
course.
third year, or starting his third year?
Sounds okay.
I don't know why if someone moved from the pool to the park, we'd make them start at the bottom again,
What's the wage for the third year?
50 cents more.
It would be 10.45.
So Doug makes a motion to amend my own motion, for starting wage to be $10.45 per hour. We have to vote on the amendment.
So there was a motion to amend the original amendment and seconded. Any further discussion on
Amend the
that?
original
Motion.
motion.
Right.
Is there
Can you just
discussion
withdraw
on
them all and start
second?
over?
On the amendment? So all in favor of the amended motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Any further discussion on the original? Any additional, or on the amended motion? No? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Step pay increase for Allison O'Connell, City Hall.
Doug makes a motion to approve the step pay increase for Allison O'Connell from 2006 to 2061 per hour, effective March 30th, 2022.
Shot second.
Would you like to do another motion?
Motion by Doden, seconded to approve the step increase for Allison O'Connell at the rate of $20.61 per hour effective March 30th, 2022. Any further discussion?
Elaine, do you have any issues with their job quality?
I do not.
No further discussion, all in favor say
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Appointment with the library board. I've got one opening right now and the second one coming up. I'd like to appoint Ashley Halverson, who has agreed to serve on the library board and was recommended by Jane. A motion to approve.
Shot make a motion to approve the library board.
Second.
Motion by Schott and seconded to appoint Ashley Halverson to the library board. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Approved application for property tax abatement. City of Beresford.
This is the lot that the tank wagon water station that we previously bought last year at Harley Salver. And so Friedberg and I were visiting and I put in a request for tax abatement. And so the county signed off on it and now we need the city attorney's signature and the mayor's, if everyone approves.
So basically, we're authorizing the mayor and the city attorney to sign the abatement form.
Mhm.
That's kind of,
Can we just make them pay the tax?
There you go.
They'll just give it to me.
Do we get the abatement? That's the question. Is there a motion to approve?
Shall make a motion to approve the abatement tax as stated.
Second.
Motion by Schott, seconded to approve the application for property tax abatement. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Christmas lighting.
Mike couldn't be here tonight, and we just want you guys to have a chance to start visiting about if we're going to move forward with any other Christmas lights this year. I was talking to Elaine. I don't think we have anything budgeted at this point in time for that, but as everything else, it seems like it's taken quite some time to get anything in. So I guess I don't think we have to make a motion right now, but I'd like to see what you guys want to do as far as moving forward. If you want to get some more lights to do some more trees and We can sure do that and start trying to figure out, Elaine will figure out how you're gonna pay for it.
Last year, did we budget for it, or did we use some of the council contingency fund for that?
It kind of came out of the park and the electric department.
Oh. Last year, we authorized 10,000, right? So,
And I think it,
might give an explanation why he wants to increase it this year.
I think it's just what the prices came in higher compared to what you got last year.
Well, no, last year we did 7,000 feet, this includes 10,000 feet of wire, it says.
Nice round number.
I think last
It
year,
was on the
he was
real,
given a budget of approximately a certain amount of money, and I think he bought everything he could up to that point, which worked up to 7,000 feet. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, then he used part of his budget to pay for the wires.
Correct.
And breakers and some
extras,
extras.
extension cords.
Correct.
I will make a couple comments on that. There's a lot of people were very, very impressed with the lights.
I didn't hear one complaint about it, spending city taxpayer dollars to do something
We can
nice.
make it better.
It was well received. So,
So what do you agree with, Troy? Take some out for the contingency fund?
see, we build on it.
So we did buy some poles this year yet too.
I know, but I mean, we don't have to go a real lot.
That was
You need a little
extra.
bit. You get a lot of praise for those lights inside.
We were brainstorming about putting some screens on the new ball field lights of different colors like the fire station does and light up the ball field and.
Want the park committee to have a chat with Mike and game plan it out? That's all fair.
In June.
Teresa, when are you available?
Well, it sounds like he's already done the work, we just gotta decide if we're
I
gonna.
think it's just how
Yeah.
much it wants to be on.
Well, this is 10,000 feet of wire, last year was 7, so you think about it, he's building more than double the amount of trees he covers this year. Which is also, double the amount of time they spend on it.
But with inflation, it's still gonna cover only the same amount of area.
Wasn't he gonna jump across and do the evergreen trees?
Yes, yeah, around the park, ballpark.
Yeah, I think by the flagpole and then maybe a little bit over in the corner that was in the
Right.
east of the playground equipment. That was kind of a dark area.
I mean, he's already got it all mapped out,
It's a
that's
plan.
what he said.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
I think it's just lighting this year, mainly, like,
I know.
the rest of the lighting and the underground stuff down, so we can.
It is the underground.
Run the outside for
That
this.
still needs to be done, or?
Yeah, some of them will.
I think we do it, I think eventually we're gonna have like a Hallmark movie setting. We got a Christmas festival, and there's something serving hot chocolate, who knows what else out there. We're trying to get something going.
People can throw their kids in the dog park and wander around.
Yep.
I mean, he's pretty much got an estimate,
Troy,
right?
what's
So,
the dollar amount difference?
Well, he's 16 grand is what he's got on here,
What
Without
was,
shipping.
without shipping costs.
what was the last year?
probably. close
Probably
to
about
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, I'll tell you what, I mean, I must have had at least 100 people. They were really, really happy. I don't even know 100 people. I think it's good for the city, and it helps out.
Oh, really?
The kids like it, the seniors like it. You got my vote.
Where's the money coming from?
Well, we gotta figure it out.
All the barbage just gotta squeeze.
Yeah. A couple more dollars here and there. I'm sure Jeff would jump in and
You're
help
supposed
a
to make
little
this
bit,
decision
right?
prior
I know
to
how to string lights.
purchasing.
Where did we say we were taking the light pole?
You did. You determined later. It was your answer.
I think the sale
Yes,
of the
I
liquor
would
store.
propose that we take it out of the electric department, and then we can
We can move money
maybe
in there
adjust
later if
their
necessary.
transfer to general fund.
Correct. Did we use all the council contingency last year?
Mm-hmm. And more.
What did we use it on?
The bathrooms came in, the park bathroom.
That's right,
and
what
the
other
police
budget?
station.
Once in, what, 50 years?
Hopefully.
Man, they're nice.
They are.
Hey, whatever we gotta do to bring people to town next, Killen Land will be doing a special on it.
We take it out of May.
I'll be happy. Killen Land will be doing a special on it, next thing you know.
I think that's your one for something.
Right. It's not good.
Yeah.
Somebody that works at the Chambers Summer Festival Community.
You said that
Put together a winter carnival.
It'd be nice to have the lights
Skit.
lit.
How many deals you make it little less.
The Saturday after.
We'll walk in and talk to the
If
kids.
it was within a year,
I mean, I think if we can drive, if you do this,
You want me not hundred grand?
thousands of people drive.
Right.
Stop and forget.
See, Jeff said you'd consider a little bit. I'm sure we could find it somewhere.
I guess, like I said, I would suggest electric department, and at the end of the year, if we haven't used our contingency, we decide that we wanna use some of our contingency to cover some shortages versus the transfer.
How much is in the contingency?
I think it's 30,000. That sounds right.
30 a year that we put in there.
And what do we generally spend on?
Whatever comes up through the year. I mean, it's,
Do we gotta order these lights ahead of time to get the price or what?
That's what he's asking for you.
Yeah, see,
In April.
So, do we need a motion to approve the purchase of the lights?
I think it's just put an up to an amount so that we can actually put it in the agenda or on our internet, so
okay, so
we
how
have
much you
something
want?
that we know what we did.
He says 16.
What's shipping roughly? Any idea? Hundreds?
well, I think it was like 500 last year in shipping costs.
So what, no more than 17,000?
Yeah.
Shall I make a motion for Christmas lighting, no more than 17,000, dollars.
Second.
Motion by Shop and seconded authorizing Mike and others to purchase $17,000 worth of Christmas lights. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Closing offices free on Good Friday.
So we would like to request to use our personal time or our vacation time to close at noon on Good Friday,
I just got one question.
depending on the department.
No, didn't we already authorize the mayor to close certain days and time?
It's called administrative leave.
I mean, if he makes a decision, he doesn't need our vote, does he? I thought we already ordered on this a while back.
But this is for them to use for their own personal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Shall I make a motion closing offices early on Good Friday as Lynn stated?
Second.
Motion by Shop and seconded to approve closing offices early on Good Friday. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Approved. No discussion items. Approval of travel, is there a motion to approve the travel requests?
Motion to approve the travel requests.
Motion by Teeman, seconded to authorize the travel request to Fargo, North Dakota. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Approved. Is there a motion to authorize payment of the bills?
Those are so moves.
Ooh, this is usually yours.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Motion by Doug, seconded to authorize payment of the bills. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. No further business for the council meeting adjourned.